ECLECTICKA. That's right, you're watching ECLECTICKA. I'm Michael 7. Michael, we've got Charles, also known as Sensei Vegan, and of course, our guy, Drew, from the West Coast, the surliest nerd. Did I get it right?
Drew Ryder, Mass Effect slave, coming at you.
Oh, damn. Once I get it right, you change it up.
I know, I switch it up. Gotta switch it up. So, oh, man. So, here we go. What's going on with you guys? How's things going?
It's crazy, man. You know,
So,
my life has been changed with that trailer with Star Wars. Finally, you see a trailer how it's supposed to be. It caused questions. It inspires you. You can't wait to see it. It poses questions. It gives clues. And it's, DC, take a note.
It's alluringly vague. Like, I gotta say, when it comes to Star Wars and how they've marketed, I could say this as far back as, like, The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
But they've done a very good job with showing you just enough that's appealing without giving too much away in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So those of you that have been, not of the sci-fi geekdom, as you should, we got the new trailer for Star Wars episode. Is this 7 that we're on? No, not 7. We're on. Is this 8? How am I messing up the numbers right now? But
8.
At any rate,
this is 8.
The Last Jedi. We just got the new trailer for that one. It did exactly that. It enticed you. It gave you a hint as to what was going to happen, but also it did raise a pretty big question. And there's like a fan theory floating around that there's a line that Luke has in the trailer where it's like the Jedi has to end. Now, anyone who's like a basic Star Wars fan will kind of be like, what? How do you figure? Because the Jedi and the Sith have been beefing for like eons now. How do you have a universe that exists where there's Jedi, where there are no Jedi, and there are Sith? It doesn't make any sense. So, the theory is that in the Star Wars lore, the parts that I guess that they've chosen to adapt, or maybe have chosen to adapt, I don't know, it's kind of iffy right now, there's what's called the Gray Jedi. Now, we have the extreme of the Sith, and we have the extreme of the Jedi. Those are white and black, right? They're supposed to represent like a balance in the Force and the universe and all that good fly stuff, right? The Gray Jedi exists somewhere in between. And the notion is that balance can only be achieved when black and white, the Sith, and the Jedi kind of merge and become something else, which is gray. And the color palette, that's how that works too. When you have black and you have white, you mix them together, and then you have gray. So it's a loose theory right now, but there was, I don't know if 70, if you could bring up the little picture of the glyph. Do you see that picture?
Yep.
The little symbol on it? Apparently that's the symbol that represents the Gray Jedi. I haven't the foggiest clue if this is anything like relevant or that we should even be like thinking about this right now, because again, this is like not a new continuity, but it's using the canon that we've seen in just the films and the television series. So all the extended universe, the novels, the comics, arguably the best elements of George Lucas's universe, that's kind of just being shunned and like brushed aside, except when they cherry pick certain elements, like how we think we might be doing with this whole Gray Jedi thing. So I don't know. We'll keep you posted on it. But aside from that, the trailer was freaking excellent. You got to see my boy Luke being on some sad, lonely man of the wood, of the lake type stuff. Rey's getting her training in, and our boy Finn is asleep for some reason. I don't know. Maybe he's still recovering from when Kylo Ren gave him that work. But we'll see, man. I'm excited. It's gonna be good. Can't wait.
Yeah, the trailer was good.
Yeah.
After all that, that's what you're going to say, Charles?
Yeah, he covered it all. What else? He ate the whole sandwich, man. Left me with crumbs. You know what I mean?
Oh, wait, yeah. Throw the food analogy at the fat kid. All right, I see how it goes, Charles. Jesus.
But no, I mean, it speaks for itself. I like those type of trailers where you're not just throwing everything in it, but the kitchen sink, basically giving the whole movie away. They did it right.
Yeah.
They did it right. So.
I mean, it's like we can harp and like chew at it as much as we want, but I don't know if we want to, because like Star Wars, it's a really great dense universe, but they're a little on the easy side when it comes to figuring out what's going to happen. Like, I know kids that were sitting up there just dissecting the trailer for The Force Awakens, and they figured out that Kylo Ren was Han Solo's kid like long before the movie even came out. So I don't even know if you want this delve too deep on it. Just kind of go in and just have fun.
Well, according to some of the books that are out there, Luke is basically supposed to, turn to a different side, and at some point, his offspring is supposed to bring him back. So it's supposed to mirror, the first 3 movies that we were presented.
They're doing that whole kind of like one mimics the other. And George Lucas has been doing that since the earlier ones, I feel. Like everything kind of just, it gets, you can call it repetitive because it kind of is in a way, but at the same time it's fun and it has like this almost poetic sort of, balance that it reaches with each one kind of reflecting the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not expecting it to be bad. I mean, the other films that we've gotten this far, Force Awakens I felt was good. Rogue One was good. I'm expecting this one to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. So far, they're on a better track than Warner Brothers right now. That's for sure.
So what's up with the Spider-Man news? Are we gonna have a black Spider-Man?
In one medium, I actually read the article and I got really excited, but then I'm just like, animated? What the? So I read an article the other day that said that Shamik Moore is going to be doing the voice of Miles Morales in a new adaptation of Spider-Man, which is animated. Now, stop. Let me rewind for a second. When I read that article, selective site, whatever, I just saw Shamik Moore is our new Miles Morales. And I'm like, my boy from Dope? Like, that's perfect casting. Yeah. And I'm like, I got super hyped, and then I went and actually read, and I'm just like, animated. How do you pick someone that looks that perfect for the character and then relegate him to an animated, lending his voice and being the animated character of someone who people have been clamoring in the fandom for years to see?
It's one step further to actually making the film happen. It's just a tester. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
The character's probably going to look just like him, the animated.
I think you're different on that one.
No?
My thing is, I don't know if they want to throw that Spider-Man up against the other one. I don't know if they want that whole tug of war. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if they want that.
You think
I think that at this point... I'm sorry, Cece.
Pardon me?
You feel like the Peter Parker franchise is threatened by the Miles Morales franchise?
I think it caused a lot of backlash. I wouldn't care either way. I would like to see it. I'm all for throwing curveballs. But
my stance is competition is good because we've seen Peter Parker in 3 different... That's a trip, dude. We've seen Peter Parker in 3 iterations now when it comes to it's like all of a sudden Miles Morales' name gets dropped and people want all of a sudden get apprehensive. Let there be 2 Spider-Mans. It'll be something different for a change. I'm tired of seeing him in high school. If we're going to have another kid that's also in high school, at least, spice it up. Let there be a competition. They occupy 2 different cinematic universes, I guess.
Right.
And, well, no, let's think. Sony still has the rights to Spider-Man. They're the ones that are...
dude, that's a puzzle, man.
It's weird trying to figure it out. Because it's not in the Amazing Spider-Man continuity. That's its own thing. And apparently they're still trying to continue that with Venom. But now that they have Spider-Man kind of like cohabitating in Marvel... They're going to want to go with the stronger horse because Marvel has already been just like kind of winning with the Avengers movies and stuff.
Yeah.
They have Tom Holland. They could also try to port Miles Morales over there too, but then you got 2 Spider-Mans.
Yeah. I don't know if they would do it. If this Spider-Man comes out, Spider-Man Homecoming, and it's a home run, I don't know if they would take and put that up against the other one. I don't know.
I think that would be the difference maker, but I see where you're going with that, Charles. I just feel that if you did have 2 Spider-Mans, for them, all that means is that, 1, you settle your basic demographic of people who can only see heroes as long as they have blonde hair and blue eyes. And then you also have the black nerd kids that are just like, but we also got Miles Morales too.
Right.
So variety in this case, I think, would be a good thing for them. But the problem is that, like, when it comes to who becomes the stronger, I guess, figure or franchise or whatever, I see how that could make for some problems. But
is there ever a crossover between Peter Parker and Miles Morales?
Yeah. In the comics, I believe Peter Parker dies, Miles Morales takes over. But what eventually ends up happening is so Miles Morales is the Spider-Man of the Ultimate Universe, and then we have the 616, Charles, where Peter Parker and college Peter.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I think they set up some type of crossover where he can go, where Miles Morales goes from his dimension to theirs, and he meets Peter, like the older Peter Parker, which is a great idea. This is, again, why I always felt Peter Parker should be a college professor in the films rather than just.
Yeah, they should have him grown up by now. I mean, they've been
Yeah.
Let him grow up,
in
dude.
high school for so.
Yeah, let him grow up.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, speaking of change, Thor is getting his haircut.
Or, and that's what you took away from that, Hunter 7? You got a
Is he
haircut.
gonna
He
get
got a
the-
haircut. That was the most important thing. Don't blame
Is he
me.
gonna get the hipster like shaved side with the gel on the top that goes?
Nah, he got the gladiator cut.
With
So
the
also,
beard.
it was like a week of
Oh.
trailers. We got the trailer for Thor Ragnarok, which looks freaking great. The reason his hair's cut is because at the beginning of the trailer, you see in like this shocking twist that Hela, who is
Yeah,
in the
he's
comics the
Hela.
daughter of Loki,
Mhm.
she breaks Mjolnir. How she's able to do this, I don't know.
Yeah,
yet.
I
It
was
just
like, what?
it looks so dope. So
Yeah,
he gets
it's
Mjolnir
nice.
taken away. He gets captured on some like Gladiator meets like John Carter of Mars type stuff. They take him and they buzz the locks, man, and he's just rocking the buzz cut. And the best part of the trailer, when he goes into the pit and the thing opens and you got Jeff Goldblum, my man, is just like, yeah, we got the next fight for you guys, and it's Hulk, and he's like, hey, and Hulk is like, hey.
That's hilarious.
Work. Oh, so
Not from
good.
work,
Oh man, it's a friend from work. I know this boy.
right?
That was good. So that I'm actually really excited for that one. And what they've essentially done, I feel, with this movie is they've taken the World War Hulk arc, and they've also taken the Ragnarok story arc. In the comics, that's like basically when Asgard falls, and it's all Loki's fault because it's always Loki's fault. And all the Asgardians die, and they're one by one resurrected. I think they're taking that idea in World War Hulk, where he gets parted off into a different planet, and they're just mashing them together and making that kind of like an amalgam of those two arcs.
Yeah,
So both of them are really great stories. I'm excited. I can't wait. Let's
True.
go.
True. Time for a good Thor.
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. Thor and Aquaman have their day this in 2017.
Jason Momoa is pushing, dude. He's making Aquaman actually a badass. He's been a badass, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting his just
Yeah.
due, and him and being Hawaiian is perfect. But sorry, that was a tangent to Aquaman. But yeah,
That's cool.
Oh, it fits though. Being Polynesian, it fits perfect.
yeah.
It works. I think it works.
It works.
It'll be good. It looks like grungy '90s Aquaman, who had like the harpoon hand.
Mhm.
That one was trying to make him like super depressing because his wife went crazy after their son gets killed and all this other flies. It was like, oh yeah, that'll be good.
Mhm.
What else we got?
Oh man, this is video game news. They're stopping the making of the NES Classic. Did you see the price? The price like tripled. It's like $300 now.
Yeah, I heard.
That's
about
crazy.
For a tournament?
Pardon me?
For a tournament?
No, the NES Classic. They brought back the NES. They made it smaller, and it comes with a bunch of games on it.
Okay, now for
It was
those
doing very well.
okay
and
for
for
those who
some
aren't
reason-
like hardcore gamers, what is the NES Classic?
Yeah, man. And they stopped making it. And they say, well, some are saying it got hacked. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was because of maybe giving competition to the Switch.
Uh huh.
Don't know. You never really know.
Yeah. What is it?
What, the NES Classic?
Yeah.
It is a newer version of the NES. That's all. And it comes preloaded with games. And they were selling it. The thing was.
Oh my god. Okay, so if we're gonna explain what
Nintendo
that is,
Entertainment
let's
System.
explain
I'm
what
sorry.
video games are at the same time. Because apparently you've never played a video game before. Like the NES Classic is taking the old style NES, right? They've adapted it so where it can actually
down.
fit in multiple games in one thing. Okay, so it has like I think it's like something like 35 games, Charles, right? Yeah, they're basically just like put into the game beforehand, so you can just play it as is.
Reloaded.
And it was great. Like it was really popular, and I feel like this might have been planned by them. This might have been like some limited edition thing because the Switch came out, and then I feel like a month or so later they announced, "Oh, by the way, we're discontinuing this."
Yeah, it
So
was
it should
weird
get out.
how what happened.
If they end up bringing it back, this is going to be a dick move on Nintendo's part, but it's almost genius how they do it. They're going to take it away for a little while, and I feel that once the heat starts to die down for the Switch, they'll bring it back on some limited edition stuff with maybe more or different games.
More games, maybe, yeah. different color or something, special color or something. Mario edition, who knows?
Mario Special Edition. Yeah, I know they had like a grip, and it was cool. I should have got mine. I'm not gonna try.
I was like, I'm gonna get it. And then
I told
I
myself.
looked on it today, and it's like, what, $300? I was like, you freaking kidding me? I'm not paying $300 for that.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I don't know. It's not the end. And then there's always going to be those people that try to sell it like low key through third party sellers like eBay and Amazon and stuff like that. So, but yep.
That's it.
That one.
Sylvester Stallone is leaving the Expendables.
We had the kind of just Expendables movie.
I didn't even think they're making any more of those things.
Yeah, they're supposed to. He had a disagreement or falling out with the one of the directors or producer. Hold on, I can get it.
As you're finding that segment, is anybody really upset about this? Like, was anyone?
No, I mean the first one was cool. Movie? I like the first one, but I mean it's really not a movie unless he's in it. I think he was the one that kind of
came up with it.
I mean the concept was fine. It's just I'd always felt kind of irritated the fact that it was like a callback to all the great action cornball movie stars from like the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. But I felt they slept on some of the greater people that were there. Like, do you guys remember Cynthia Rothrock?
She should have been it, yeah.
I
watched, I think, every one of her movies, man.
I watched, I don't know how many of her movies as a kid, and I'm just like, if you guys are really trying to sit up there and call back to the hardcore fans from, like, back in the 90s and stuff like that, if you're going to have lame, boring-ass Chuck Norris in there, like, why not just throw her into it? Because she could actually fight. Like, I know Chuck Norris is supposed to be, like, I don't know what degree black belt in karate, but I just never thought he was that. Bruce Lee put him down anyway, so it's all good. But, like, I felt that she was just more entertaining to watch.
So
was up in there.
Avi Lerner, he had a falling out, and basically I guess Sylvester Stallone wanted to go one direction, and he wanted to go another. So I'm really curious what that direction was.
Yeah, like what did you get tight in the chest about the Expendables for?
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know.
So that kind of sucks.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
They made a lot of money. They're good.
Right.
Yeah, they're fine. They got Wesley Snipes paid.
Right.
So a lot of script issues and talks about a new direction for G.I. Joe. They want to reboot it. I hope they stick towards either the TV show or the comic book. The comic book, I think, would be more interesting.
You know, Seven, when you just said that right now, the only thing that popped into my head is that you got The Rock, and I think Channing Tatum's character died, but you have, like, The Rock and Bruce Willis, and they're doing that, and knowing is half the battle segment. In a
man. Yeah, they can leave that out.
There you go, man.
They can leave that out. They better not make it a comedy, because that's the new thing with Hollywood, taking like Chips and Starsky and Hutch and turning them to comedies.
It was just those lame, cheesy cop dramas that they just made really silly and put a bunch of dick and fart jokes in it. So I'm just
like,
what else can you do with them?
But
BJ and the Bear, if you guys remember.
Oh God.
Why does that sound familiar? BJ and the Bear. And it'll be like right before Clifford, the big red dog, comes back. Oh my God.
Well, you know they're bringing Baywatch back, right?
Don't do it.
You know they're doing Baywatch, right?
Yeah, and they're doing Baywatch, which it looks like it's gonna be more tongue in cheek. I think they know that it's corny.
Right. It was like 21 Jump Street, basically.
Yeah.
I always thought a Johnny Quest reboot would be pretty cool right about now.
That would be different.
Because Johnny Quest used to mess with them heavy with Haji. Haji was dope.
Yeah.
That would be different.
That could be
action.
There could be this like resurgence of like the pulp, kind of like.
Who would be Race Bannon? Who would be Race Bannon?
Wow, that would be.
It would have to be somebody like sexy with white hair.
I'm gonna let you figure that one out. I don't know.
I don't really know. It's not too many people with white hair in Hollywood.
We'd have to think about it. I don't know.
They could dye somebody's hair or wig or something.
Yeah, you throw some Just for Men in that thing.
Yep. You can always dye it.
Did you say Just for Men?
Just for Men, yeah. some Silver Fox stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, or he could have like the short military buzz cut.
Yeah, the military buzz.
Tired, something. Yeah.
I think I can't remember who came first. Race Bandit? No, it was Doc Savage easily. Doc Savage came before Race Bandit, and I feel like he was always kind of like a callback to him. And The Rock is gonna be playing him too. Rock is just doubling down and just taking all the characters. I'm gonna be Black Adam. I'm gonna be Doc Savage. I'm gonna be Old Boy Roadblock from G.I. Joe. I'm just gonna be all these other characters. And the guy from
Roadblock. Roadblock was the man. But it's amazing how much you could do with G.I. Joe. There's so many stories that you could tell. I don't know if you guys were you into the comics or just the cartoon?
I watched the cartoon.
Cartoon, yeah.
Yeah, I was of the few comic books I was into, that was one of the ones I was into. And Zartan alone, or if they just focus on Storm Shadow, I don't know. There's so many things that they could do. I don't know. And there's so many strong female characters in the G.I. Joe world that
might be an even better direction.
Yeah.
On the females of it.
Yeah.
Actually, see, why when I had the idea of like a U.S. version of Sailor Moon, all of a sudden like you popped into my head. I'm just like, who would you be trying to cast?
When I turned 14, I promise y'all, I was like waiting for a talking cat to change my life. I swear, and it didn't happen, and I was so hurt.
Devastating.
I'll be looking for a cat for you right now.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm like they're reaching because I say that because Ghost in the Shell came out and it just got kind of man reviews and it did alright at the box office. It was just it did its own thing. I'm just like, well, since we're on this tangent of taking beloved anime titles and then just kind of porting them
to this story.
What would be another one that everyone knows who would kind of be like all in a kerfuffle about? I'm just like Sailor Moon.
True.
Easy.
Oh yeah.
How you make that work? I have no idea. But if you guys were willing to make Gem into a live action movie,
but they didn't know.
Maybe you could do something with Sailor
I ain't
Moon.
gonna front of the girly shows, the cartoons. Gem was actually as a musician, as a kid, Gem was actually kind of cool. They didn't do Gem. They did some. I don't know what they did. They didn't stay towards anything towards
Gem, and I didn't watch the movie, but
yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, no.
But you know what's interesting? A lot of people have borrowed from this cartoon, but they might not remember it, was Visionaries. A lot of people have done the tattoos that come out of their skin and come to life or something like that, but all that comes from the Visionaries.
Right.
And Sky Commanders, another random toy franchise / cartoon. If they were to do stuff with that'd be interesting. Because it never was too popular.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's some meat there to play with.
Yeah, and those animes kind of like set the tone for a lot of different technology waves in terms of like movies and stuff. Live action movies.
Yeah, the coolest thing about Gem, I think, was synergy. And they could at least add synergy into the movie. I was like, I don't know. I saw maybe like 20 minutes of it, and I was like, this is trash.
I completely missed. Yeah, I bypassed all that stuff. The cards.
Yeah, I did.
I knew it existed, but I just, being a 12-year-old boy, I didn't care. I just did not care.
Well, do you care about Mission Impossible 6? Because they just got to keep putting out that same.
Go ahead, take it away.
Huh?
They're doing another Mission Impossible. I thought that was the Mummy. My fault. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah, the trailer did look like that, right?
It did. The Mummy looked like the Mission Impossible, man.
The Mummy.
Oh man.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, Tom.
I'm not, Tom. You empty.
That is a lot of Mission
Impossible.
I went there.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta switch it up if you're gonna really try to make a franchise out of it, like 007. You can't rest on your laurels. I don't care how old your franchise.
My thing is, if it was subject just to his Mission Impossible films, I would be a little less mean-spirited about it. But him and Jack Reacher are the exact same character, dude.
Yeah.
They're the same freaking guy. The last guy that he played in the other movie that apparently just dropped off the face of the planet. I'm just like, so basically you're just one hyper-masculine, 90s cliche after another. And then you're just going to switch it over and then give him a different name and have him do the exact same stuff.
Yeah, he's a retired character from Top Gun.
I don't. Yeah, he's the same character from Top Gun, and now he's apparently the same guy in The Mummy too. So
yeah,
I don't care.
that's who he is. He's him after he leaves the Air Force.
Yeah, I feel that when The Mummy comes out, that he's less the focus than my dude Russell Crowe is, because he's Mr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde. That to me is more interesting than anything that Tom Cruise could possibly be up to. Period.
Right.
I do not care. But,
True.
Actually, if they're gonna remake something, if they did a really dark Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that would be really good. I'd watch that.
Do you remember Mary Riley, that movie that came out in the 90s?
Mary Riley.
It was like the really messed up version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that was told from the perspective of like his housemaid. You remember that one?
No, that's
As
crazy.
a kid, dude, that movie messed me up because it was so and his transformation was so jacked up, and he did some messed up stuff. That was a good one. If they go that route, that could be cool.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't who did one? I think it was called Penny or something. Didn't someone do one where they basically no, that was another take on Jack the Ripper, but they never showed him in the film. I'm trying to remember who did that. That was a good film. Oh shoot.
Yeah, that was a few years
Johnny
ago.
Depp, right?
Yeah. I believe so.
I don't think I saw that one.
Jack
It was
Ripper,
like-
yeah, he did. Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
5 less than 10 years old, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
I didn't
did.
see that one.
Yeah, there's so much material that if you really had to go back to some of the greatest. Like, we can't get enough of Frankenstein. We can't get enough of
Yeah.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Jack the
Especially as
Ripper.
Technology advances.
And Jack the Ripper is more interesting because that's a real person.
Yeah.
He's based off a real guy, and there was the fact that a lot of people theorize that they never were able to catch him.
Right.
And there's all these kinds of theories as to why he did what he did,
Mm-hmm.
aside from just him being just like a sick bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of interest when it comes to the monster. We're just looking for something new, because not everybody can be a superhero, and I think we're more attracted to the idea of monsters being the focus
Yeah.
of these films, especially when it comes to the horror genre. The reason that Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy Krueger and Chucky are still around is because they're just not fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
They like appease that really messed up part that's inside of us that like seeing
You love
you
to
know,
hate. Mm-hmm.
yeah, dumb sorority folks and getting their comeuppance. It's some weird, like, atavistic, like, pleasure that we get out of seeing that.
But also their origin stories were tight too.
I thought they were doing another Chucky movie.
No,
I hope not.
please
The last
no.
one was god awful.
I can
Oh my
imagine.
God.
Leave
They-
Chucky alone.
They'd have to go back dark again. It can't be this whole
Yeah.
tongue-in-cheek
Well, that's the only
thing
one.
of one-liners.
Yeah, you can't do
yeah.
Leprechaun or Chucky or anything other than dark or
I
nor
would check on
take
that,
it
but I-
seriously.
I
Right.
thought they were going to do
You
another
still gotta
one.
get Cece to go watch it, and I'm gonna.
You are not getting me to watch that.
Yep. As soon as you come to New York, I'm gonna trick you.
Nope.
We're gonna watch Bambi. Oh, it's it. Sorry.
Nope.
Bambi
not
with a clown outfit on.
Ever in life.
Oh, she's getting mad too. She's like, nope, not watching it.
Not going to any movie with you all ever in life.
No. The movie's called what? Just sit down. And handcuff you to the seat.
Who? What? Right? It's gonna be coming out.
All right, folks.
Oh gosh. I can't
So
do that.
that's it for this week. We've decided that we're going to chain CC to the movie theater seat and make her watch it.
Oh my god.
And we're gonna film her reactions.
No.
Just put a camera on her face through the whole thing.
Cece, we're there with you.
No.
So thank you, CC, and just be prepared for that. Stop complaining. Suck it up. Thank you.
We have GoPros right over
All right there, Charles. Thank you so much. And Drew, always. And Michael 7. Michael, you're watching ECLECTICKA. And we'll get that. I'll get that Thor trailer up on the site, 7network.com, scvnetwork.com, and we're up. So we'll see you next week, same time, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.